Have you ever struggled to sew a curved hem on any of your projects? Or maybe you can't quite get a nice professional finish on your necklines or armholes. If you've been struggling with this, you need to know about bias tape. It is going to be your best friend, and the best part is it's super beginner friendly. Now, you can buy bias tape at the store, but sometimes it's hard to get that exact color that you need. Or maybe you have some extra fabric laying around and you don't want to have to make a run to the store. Either way, I've got you covered in this video. Hi, my name's Abby and I help absolute beginners start making clothes they love. So if that's you, be sure to like and subscribe below so that you'll be notified with all my new beginner-friendly videos. And in this video, you're going to learn step by step how to make bias tape using just some extra scraps of fabric you have laying around. First things first, what is bias tape and why is it so amazing? Bias tape is just a rectangular piece of fabric, long, thin rectangle, that has been cut out of a piece of woven fabric. That's fabric that's typically not stretchy. But that long, thin rectangle has actually been cut off at a 45-degree angle, which in fabric terminology, we call the bias. And even though a fabric might not be stretchy side to side or up and down, a fabric will always be stretchy on the bias. And that's why we cut out these long, thin strips on this angle, because then it makes these strips of fabric just a little bit stretchy. And we need just that little bit of stretch to go around circles and curves. That's what makes this so easy and nice for your circle skirts, for armholes, for neck holes, anything that's curved, you're gonna want to be using bias tape. So now that we know what it is, let's figure out how to make it. Now, to make bias tape, you're going to need the following. You're going to need a lightweight woven fabric. Again, woven means not stretchy. And cotton works great for this. Also going to need a ruler, fabric scissors or a rotary cutter, iron and ironing board, and if you have one, a bias tape maker. I'm going to show you how to make bias tape using this if you have it, and also what you can do if you don't have one of these laying around. So don't worry, it's not necessary, but I'm going to show you both ways. To make bias tape, the first thing we're going to need is a square of fabric. So in this video, I am going to be making a 45 by 45 centimeter square. You can make any size you want. This is a good standard place to start. And this is going to give us about 5 yards or 5 meters of bias tape. So you can make this bigger or smaller if you need more or less bias tape. So we can just start on any corner of our fabric, measure over 45 centimeters, where it is in a couple of places, then connect those dashes. Then we'll do the same thing, measuring from the opposite direction. Draw those dashes, connect them using a ruler, and then we will cut this out, and this will give us a perfect square. Now this is really important. We need to have a square, otherwise this isn't going to work. So now that we have our square of fabric, we are going to fold it in half to make this triangle. We are going to iron that in place, and then we are going to cut along this fold that we just ironed, okay? We're basically trying to cut this in half. Okay, once it's cut in half, make sure you pay attention to this part. It's really, really important, okay? Now, if we turn our project to look like a square, we are going to sew this edge to the opposite edge, okay? So the bottom edge to the top. And then we're going to take the top piece, we're going to flip it like this. So we want the project to kind of look like this little horn shape. But right now we have wrong sides facing and we need right sides facing. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it underneath. So now we have right sides facing, and then we're going to pin this in place and sew it. Once we have sewn this, we're going to press the seam open by pulling that seam allowance open like a book and then ironing along this to make sure it's nice and flat. Now we have one big piece of fabric that looks like this. And on this, on the wrong side of the fabric, we are going to draw some lines to figure out how wide we want our bias tape to be. Now, you can make your bias tape any size you want. If you would like a list of the most common ones, you can check that down below in the description. I have a blog post on this. But I personally like to make my bias strips 1.5 inches or 4 centimeters wide. So I'm going to mark that and mark lines all the way across my fabric. And keep in mind the last strip on your piece of fabric may not be wide enough. If it's not, make sure that you cut it off, okay? We need all evenly sized strips for the next step. Okay, so once you have that, we are going to take our project and we are going to fold it like this. Now, when we look at this, we can see all of our stripes match up nice and even. It looks really good, but this is not how we're going to sew it, okay? If we sewed it like this, we would make a bunch of rings, okay? We would make a ring of fabric if we cut out these lines, and that's not what we want. What we want to do is offset these. So we're going to move the first stripe over and match it up with the second stripe. Okay, now the reason we're doing this is because now when we sew this together, this first stripe is going to continuously run into the second, into the third, and this is going to create a spiral. So we have one long continuous piece of bias tape connecting all these stripes together. Okay, now that doesn't make total sense just yet. You'll see it happen in real time. Just keep watching. So we need to line these up and pin them in place. There is a really important rule here, okay? The lines need to meet where we are going to be sewing, which is 1 centimeter down or ½ inch down from the edge of the fabric. So we are going to mark on our lines 1 centimeter down from the edge of the fabric. Now, if you want to be really precise, you can make this mark on all of the lines. If you don't mind being a little bit more loosey-goosey with this, I have a tip for you coming later. So up to you, but we're going to make this mark for sure at least on one pair of lines so we can get this lined up. So once we have these marked on at least one pair of lines, we're going to take a straight pin and we're going to poke it right through that mark that we just made on the line. Okay, then we're going to poke it through on the other mark that we made. So we know that these points are perfectly lined up exactly where we want them. Once that is in place, we need to twist or shift the fabric until we get this raw edge lined up all the way down. Okay, now once the edge is lined up and that pin is perfectly lined up where we need it, then we can take the pin and actually push it into our fabric to hold everything in place. Now, when you flip the fabric over, you're going to see that it makes this V shape between the line and the pin. That's perfect. That means you did it right. Now we're going to continue going down, lining up and pinning each line, okay? It's really easy for the fabric to get a little bit stretched out and not line up perfectly. So this is our chance to go through and be very, very precise. Now, if you don't want to spend the time to line each of these up perfectly, again, I have a little bit more of a loosey-goosey option for you coming soon. So once this is pinned in and we're happy with it, we are going to sew this down, okay? And once we sew it, we're going to take this to the ironing table. We're going to press this seam open as well. And now you'll actually find that we have a loop of fabric. Perfect. And when we look at our lines, they should line up perfectly or really closely. Okay, now here's that other option if you didn't want to be super precise before. We can just take a ruler, line up our lines, and draw something to connect them if they aren't perfectly lined up from when we sewed it. Okay, we can fudge this just a little bit. It's not going to be a problem. So once we have nice straight lines drawn all the way across both seams, we are ready to cut this. And this is the magic, you guys. It's happening. when we start cutting, you're going to see this is one continuous piece of bias tape. It's so nice. I love it. Oh, it's the best. Okay, so look how much bias tape we made. Once this is all completely cut, we have this piece of material, this long, thin rectangle that we talked about. But to make this into true bias tape, we need to fold these edges into the middle. And there are two ways to do this. The first way is to use a bias tape maker. Now these usually come in a set with a lot of different sizes. So the first thing we need to do is figure out which size is closest to our strip of fabric once we fold those two edges in. Okay, so for mine, that's the red one. And once we know which size we need to use, we need to take the end of our fabric and push it into the large end of the bias tape maker and have it come out the small end. Now on this video, I'm doing it backwards, but even if you're doing it the right way, it can be a little bit tricky to get that tail to come through, and it can be a little bit fiddly. So if you struggle with this, a tip that I like to use is take a small piece of thread and a needle, sew into that tip, drop the needle through, and then use that to pull the fabric. For me, this is so much quicker and easier than trying to fiddle about with that fabric and try to get it through. Okay, once we have started pulling the fabric through, we need to adjust it so it looks exactly how we want. So we want our fabric to be folded perfectly so those two edges, when they fold in, meet right in the middle. Okay, once we have it lined up correctly, we're going to lay this on our ironing table, and then we are going to pull the bias tape maker, and we're going to follow that directly with the iron. Okay, so we pull some out and then we iron it. We pull it out and we iron it. And this makes this process very quick, very easy. But note here, whenever you get to your seams, you are going to have to help it through. They're thicker than other pieces of the fabric, and they tend to get jammed inside the bias tape maker a little bit. So that's totally normal, but just know when you get to a seam, it's going to be a little bit harder to pull through. But you just keep pulling it through and ironing until you have ironed the entire strip of bias tape. Now, if you don't have a bias tape maker, don't worry, you can do the exact same thing using just a straight pen. Okay, we're going to take the pen and we're going to poke it in and up in a very small area on our ironing board, okay, just a tiny little amount. Then we're going to push the pen as far in as we can, and at the very end, put the tip down into the ironing board. So we make this little bar for our fabric to slip under. And then we are going to do the exact same thing with a second pen. And once we have both of those on our ironing board, we're going to take our fabric, slide it under both pens, and again adjust this so that way the strip of fabric looks exactly how we want, with those long edges folded in, meeting right in the middle. Once this is all in position, we can iron that area between the pens. Okay, and once we have this started, then we just start pulling the fabric through this and ironing each section as we go. Now, depending on your fabric, you might be able to just pull this and keep ironing in one continuous motion. Sometimes the fabric doesn't want to stay exactly where you want it, and you have to kind of adjust each new section that comes into the pens. But I still find that this is my favorite way to do it. I just don't like having to go and find the bias tape makers when I can just use the pens I already have on hand and do it this way. So this is actually my preferred method. Which is yours? After seeing both options, which one are you excited to try? Let me know down in the comments. But same thing with this one. We're just going to keep going until we finish ironing the entire piece of bias binding. Now that we have finished ironing the entire piece, we need to talk about single versus double fold. Now, we have taken all of our bias tape and we have folded those two edges in and ironed them. And I know that might seem like a double fold, but it's not. What we currently have is called a single fold bias tape. Okay, so this is what I like to use. It's my favorite. This is how I leave it. But if you want to create what's called double fold bias tape, what we will do is take this and fold it in half again. So that way it's been folded another time. And for whatever reason, this is what's called a double fold bias tape. So the choice is totally up to you. It's whatever you prefer using. But if you need to make a double fold, just fold this in half again. I would use the pin method and then iron this all the way down so that way you can create double fold bias tape. Now that you know how to make your own bias tape, let's put it to use in a beginner-friendly project. I have two for you right here, my DIY cloak or the DIY circle skirts. And if you get stuck or have questions or just want a little bit more support and community on your sewing journey, then be sure to check out my DIY Fashion Rebel Sewing Society down in the description. It is a monthly community where you can come, hang out, ask questions, get help from me directly. That way you just don't feel quite so alone on your sewing journey and you have a place to ask questions when you get stuck. So if that would help you, check it out down below. And until the next video, happy sewing!